Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to share with you the formulas of structure of atom. Okay, here the relation between wavelength, that is lambda, frequency nu, and velocity of light c. So the relation is c is equal to nu lambda, where c is the velocity of light or speed of light, and it has its own value, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, then lambda, this is derived from here. Lambda is equal to c by nu is equal to c by lambda. Okay, so by knowing this formula, you can derive any out of these two. So wave number nu bar is equal to 1 by lambda, that is 1 by wavelength. Now from the Planck's quantum theory of radiation, we know that the energy is in the form of packets, and it is emitting discontinuously or absorbing discontinuously. So energy is in the form of packets. So energy of a photon is the energy in the form of light. So energy of a photon is h nu, but energy of photon, any photon, okay, it is nh nu. So where n is 1 2 3, okay, starting from 1 to 3 up to infinity. But remember that n cannot be any fraction, 1.2, 1.75, it cannot be any fraction. Where h is called the Planck's constant, where nu is called the frequency of the light. Planck's constant has its own value, that is 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. Next, let's go to the photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect means when energy falls, when energy is falling on this metal surface, that means incident radiation. That means this energy is used up in breaking the binding energy of the electrons with the nucleus, and the remaining energy is used in ejecting the electrons as kinetic energy of the ejected photoelectrons. Okay, so binding energy plus kinetic energy of the photoelectrons. So the formula here is binding energy plus kinetic energy half mv square. The formula of kinetic energy is half mv square. Also we can write in this form h nu. Okay, energy is what? In the form of packets, it's h nu is equal to h nu naught, where nu naught is called the threshold frequency, plus half mv square. Or also we can write in this form, that is h nu is equal to w naught, that means the work function. This is doing some works. Okay, that energy is used in doing some work, so work function plus half mv square. Next, from the Bohr's atomic theory, that electrons revolve in that orbit which is having the formula of mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi, where m is the mass of the electron. The electron is revolving around the nucleus, so E has its own mass of the electrons. Okay, v means velocity, or it has its own speed, velocity of the radius, velocity of the electrons, and that means there is some radius revolving around the nucleus. That means the momentum is quantized. How it is quantized? Quantized means having fixed value. So how it is quantized? See, h has its own value, n can be any number, 1 2 3 4, okay, and 2 is also a number, pi has its own number, so we can get a fixed value that is called quantized. Okay, so only those electron can move whose value is nh by 2 pi. Next, energy of Bohr's orbit. Energy of Bohr's orbit. The energy of Bohr's orbit is minus 1312, okay, 1312 z square n square kilojoule per mole. So this is in terms of kilojoule per mole. So z is the atomic number, n is the Bohr's orbit. That means if the orbit is 1, we'll put here 1. If the orbit is second, it will put it 2. So energy in the form of joule is minus 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18. Okay, so it should also be n square here, z square by n square, where z is the atomic number, n is the orbit number. Okay, so this is energy in the form of electron volt. So in case of electron volt, we will use minus 13.6 into z n square. This is z square by n square. Okay, z square by n square, electron volt per atom. Next, radius of Bohr's orbit is 0.592 into n square by z. N is the Bohr's number, okay, orbit number, and z is the atomic number. This is in terms of Armstrong. Okay, velocity is given as v is equal to 2.1818 into 10 to the power 6 z by n meter per second. Rydberg's formula nu bar is equal to RH, where RH is called the Rydberg constant and it has its own value 10.97 into 10 to the power 6 per meter, and this Z is the atomic number, N1 is the lower energy level. Okay, we have this lower energy level, N equal to 1, N equal to 2, so in this way, so N1 is the lower energy level and N2 is the higher energy level. And in order to find the number of spectral line, we will use the formula of N into N plus 1 by 2, where N is the difference in the energy level. Okay, so next, de Broglie wavelength. According to de Broglie wavelength, lambda is equal to h by mv. M is the mass of the electron, v is the velocity of the electron. From the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, we have the formula that means delta x into delta p greater or equal to h by 4 pi. Okay, so so this is the formula of Heisenberg uncertainty principle. X is the distance, that means position of the electrons, and p is the momentum of the electrons.